come to save the day.
I gotta talk about this. 2012. There's always been this. The end of the world is not near. The end of the world is nigh. Why do you think audiences are still attracted to that and still go see movies like this?
I think it's because, like, we all know that one day we have to die, and everything which has an end is.
Oh, not me, by the way.
No, oh, okay. Everything which has an end is like interesting. You know, it's like there's so. And then on the other hand, it's also like about, I think I'm always interested because if there would be a way out, which is in my movie like kind of these arcs they're building, because it's a global flood, it leads to a global flood, who has the right to say you are in the boat and you're not? What would you take with you if you would be on the boat? And that's all that kind of questions which I really kind of think are interesting and worth, discussing in a movie.
Well, you also hear about that a lot of the news where you're like, there's all destruction and people are running and someone falls and gets trampled. I mean, these are real life situations.
And then there are also what I'm like most fascinated about. They're real life heroes. People like who in these kind of situations all of a sudden rise and become heroes and just do exactly. When everybody runs in this direction, they run in the other direction and get some kid out of the fire.
So there is going to be that element with this film.
Well, yeah, and it's like always like I'm like kind of attracted to disaster movie in general because even as a kid, because it was regular people. It was regular people like you and me, and they didn't have to have any special talents. They only had to have courage or not courage. And it was always like this moral decision to make. So.
Now, you were just talking about tackling Shakespeare. Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
I want to do this thing since 6 or 7 years. It's just there's this since nearly 100 years, and very famous writers have written about it. There's the theory that like kind of William Shakespeare hasn't written these plays, and somebody else has, and it's like a movie which just tackles that question.